Yeah. Revelation.
Share up the video, please. Share the video. Share it with everybody. Share it on your page. Share it in the groups. Share it in the other pages. Let them know we're here. YouTube people, you can share it too. Share it up, share it up, share it up. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Tuesday, the 2nd of January. We're speaking to everybody but the 10 people who have died for the year so far. Murder. What? Murder. Country where the government is built on lies. Now, we have real work to do. It was never going to be easy. It was never going to be an easy road, and I knew that going in. I just want to put something out there, and PEP followers, friends, lend me your ears for a minute. There are two things I would prefer that I not encounter at the end of the video when I go back. This is for the Facebook people. When I go back to watch the video after the show and read all the comments, there are two things I would prefer not to encounter. One, you fighting among yourselves. We could agree to disagree. This is not an easy mountain to climb. None of us have the map, but we're doing our endeavor best. Please, do not fight among yourselves. The second thing, every now and then, the PNM and the UNC will unleash trolls into the thread to talk foolishness. A troll's job is to knock your attention away from what the video is doing. So if you give the troll attention, even if it is to answer the troll or debunk the troll or to silence the troll, the moment you start giving the troll attention, they've won. We've lost. I want you to do a little experiment. Watch when the trolls come. They're going to say 4 things, 5 things, 6 things. They're going to say the most reprehensible things. Ignore them. Pay no attention. Do not interact. Do not even say troll alert. I could see a troll. It comes up on the screen in front of me. And I see what they're doing. Half the time I talking to you and I can block a troll. I know how to deal with my business. We have members of the PEP Wolfpack, the original Wolfpack, on this wall dealing with those issues. So you don't have to be concerned. And if you let them pass 3, 4, 5 comments, they're gone. They're gone. Because without your attention to feed on, they're gone. They have nothing else to do. They have nothing else to do. Lyndon Mack, you are my choice for a candidate for Tobago, but we will talk about that another time. Please, let the trolls go. And we not fight among ourselves. Too often, and Dilwood raised the point today, and even though Sean had a good argument, that we have members outside there, and I guess we have to deal with this too as we on this. To the PEP members who have a PEP frame on your profile picture and talking about us joining up with the UNC, understand this. That could never happen. We are not joining with anybody. The Progressive Empowerment Party is building 41 full constituency executives built right down to street captains. We have no interest in doing all of that work to go and sell our soul for a 2-seat in the parliament. That's not what we're here for. There are a lot of other parties that call themselves political parties and calling up my name, you know. They're calling up my name for whatever reason. They see me as the enemy, no sin. But they're calling up my name. But when you go and look at their party, they have a fella, he have a political party about 6 years now. And it's still just him. Herbert Volney launched a party. Just him. A fella named Creaky launched a party. Just him. Stafford. These fellas have no interest in actually representing you, you know. All of them come looking for an end. Look, my bucket, put something in my bucket. The Progressive Empowerment Party is building for you a real political option. We are not an alternative. We are a choice. We are a fully formed, functional political party with more programs, plans, policies, and ideas to undo and redo and rebuild this country than even the PNM or the UNC combined. And you need to understand something. When you're building something dedicated to high ideals, and I compare what we're doing to history, because history is our teacher. We learn from history. When Moses went up the mount to collect the 10 commandments, when he took too long, they had some people who decided this God of Israel is no longer the God they wanted to vote, they wanted to support, and they built back a golden calf. They lost their way in their minds. We will always have people come into the party fully bought on to the ideology and the logic, but get tired. They get, because a lot of people think this is a sprint. This was never a sprint. This is every single day. We've had 3 PEP meetings today. And then I went and did a video by the parliament. This is not, and every phone call, 100, listen, every time I open my phone, it lights up like a Christmas tree. And I am not the only one. This party has an executive. It has a chairman, a deputy chairman. It has a PRO. This is a functional organization. And we never intended that this was going to be a sprint. And for the people who want to come and see everything they want one time, you don't get that in a relationship. There are relationships that people get into. They fall in love. They kiss up each other's neck. They tell each other high-sounding words. Lovey-dovey. Let me get married. And the marriage don't last as long as the wedding. Because you're only in it for what you could get. The Progressive Empowerment Party is here to serve. We understand this. You know, I said to people and I say clear, I believe that every man, now, I can't speak for women. I don't know how women think, but I know how men are supposed to think. And men have a role in society. All the other conversations and arguments and issues aside, men still have a role in society. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we leave this world and this country a better place than we met it. Men, call yourself to order. Call yourself to action. I had a real good time as a teenager and a young adult. I party so much. I mean, I had a good time. And I think that in your younger years, like yourself, you don't have to study nothing. The elders above you will. You will be an elder one day and you will then take responsibility. And I think that that is the game. I woke up one birthday in a foreign country. I had friends like that. They would, when we were going out the line, we used to say, walk with a toothbrush, a change your underwear and your passport because you don't know what could happen. And we had a real good time growing up. But now, I am an adult. Now I'm a fully grown man and I have a responsibility to make sure that what I enjoyed, I make better. Anyway, the PNM and the UNC, for whatever else they are, or whatever else they fool people or themselves into thinking they are two racist organizations built on theft. That's what those two parties are. Don't ask me, ask history. Go and read the history of Trinidad and Tobago from 1962 to now, and you will see that the PNM and the UNC has been recorded in our history via something I like to call the Rogues Gallery. You could call names like Karamat and Ish and Kwaitong and O'Halloran and Johnny O'Halloran, Owai, Sampi. I mean, the list, there are people right now in government whose names are going to be etched onto that list because we still have no system for dealing with that. But stick a pin. The PNM and the UNC, for whatever else they tell anybody else or they fool themselves into believing, they are basically racist organizations built on theft. And having first-hand knowledge of both of those parties, because I know a lot of the senior members of both of those parties personally and very well. And I want to tell you something. A lot of them don't like each other, you know. Them don't get along. Them don't talk. Frontline member of parliament sitting next to frontline member of parliament, but you ain't getting invited in my house for Christmas and I ain't inviting you for Eid. And they hate each other. They have some of them just bad talk each other. But they on one track together. Because you see that racism, you see Indian time now and African time now, that unites them. You see that treasury, raiding that treasury, that and all of the bad men and the trotters lines and the house parties and the areas and the after parties and all the bullshit that comes with stunting as an old man and as an old woman. And I don't understand it because at my age, I tell you, if I'm not home in my bed watching TV by midnight tomorrow, I'm a mess. Recovery is a long thing for me now. I like to go to bed and I like to sleep. I don't understand. I don't know what these people, 20 and 30 years my senior, beating their body, knocking dog all over the place. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is the Progressive Empowerment Party is a different party. We are built on ideology. We are built on philosophy. We are built on rescuing the nation. Our goals are not self-serving. Our goals are for other people. It is all about sacrifice. It is all about what I do with my name and my legacy. And that's the difference between the PP and the two racist thief parties. And there's a point that I am trying to make, because the first people to join an organization like this one are going to be the idealists and the romantics and the unreasonable people. We're gathering all of them together in a space and trying to get them all thinking, you know, we go in this direction and that direction. But it's a rowdy bunch. Sometimes a motley crew. Difficult to harness all together like horses pulling a carriage. Because these idealists, these romantics, they have ideas of their own. And they have been fighting that in their head and maybe even on the ground for a long time too. And I want to tell you this going in. Because I watch the PNM and the UNC hemorrhage members all the time. All the time. So when the PEP have to pull over and let a couple off, don't make it a thing. Don't make it a thing. 50% of marriages end in divorce. I am extremely lovable, huggable, and kissable. But not for everybody. Some people, as surprising as this is to hear, may not like me. As difficult as that is to believe, may not get along with me. I have strong goals. I am like I don't want to say a bull because your partner's a raging bull. I am like a horse with blinkers on race day. I only want to see straight ahead. And straight ahead to me is a country where every creed and race could find an equal place. Straight ahead to me is where we declare war against poverty and win it. Straight ahead to me is a national security plan with a maritime security wall and the whole apparatus that ends the drug trade and the gun trade and the human trafficking and all that madness that has turned this country into a kind of madhouse. Straight ahead for me is that. They're going to have people who are going to come along while this race is being run and whisper into my ear and tell me what straight ahead means for them. And if we could accommodate that, of course. But there are going to be some people who might think, you know what, my family, we get some contracts too, you know, so I don't know if we really want to go against them people like you said it. We lost a very good member when he found out that the PEP stands for property tax, an escalating property tax, where we say the first home, your primary residence, zero tax. Zero. Now this is us going after the drug and corruption money hiding in real estate. Your first primary residence, from the smallest, cheapest $50,000 house to the $50 million penthouse, your primary residence, 0% tax. Your second property, 10%. Your third property, 20%. Your fourth property, 30%. And escalating until, because there are people in this country that because they've had dirty money that needed to wash, could own 200, 300, 400 houses. Now that don't sound like a bad thing. It's capitalism. No, it's capitalism gone mad. Because what it's done is it's turned supply and demand on its head. Something as essential as housing has now been priced outside of the average person's reach because of dirty money. And the only way to do that is through legislation and taxation. And I understand that. But when my partner heard it, because he's a house renter, so he jumped out. He said, pull over, let me out here. And he come out. And he had, and I applaud him, he called about 15 meetings. And by the 15th meeting, when he realized it's only 3 people coming, he stopped. And it must dawn on him. So he now has to decide. PNM and UNC wrecking the country, but I could get away with my little slackness while they're there. So maybe I'll just leave them there. And that's why we're here where we are. That's how we get to Trinidad being like this. Because people look to rationalize the wrongdoing government doing so as to continue something that they're doing. And the government and the people that own the government relying on that. They're relying on you making selfish, self-serving choices at the expense of yourself and everybody else. Because when you're on a wooden ship and it's cold, and you go to the front of the ship and you rip up the floorboards to light the fire in the back where you sit in, that's cool. You'll be warm for a while, but we'll be taking on water in the front. And at some point, the same ship that you on will sink. And you, like everybody else, will be cold and wet. And now in danger. Because your selfish needs was more important than the collective, and now the collective sinking. We will lose people, and I accept that. I accept it. And you need to accept it too. I am not going to trip over myself trying to make the PEP all things to all people. We cannot be that. If what you want is reassuring lies, the PNM and the UNC have been doing that for you for a long time. The PNM since independence, and the UNC since 88, Club 88, and before NAR when there was UNF. They've been doing that then. They could do that for you now. You go to Kamla or Keith. They tell you what you want to hear. No? You're for abortion? We for abortion. You're against abortion? We against abortion. The PEP tells you, end the bullshit. Put that to referendum. All of the hot button topics. Put it to referendum. A referendum is a legal instrument that instructs the parliament, the will of the people. It's like a mini election, and when the votes are counted, if the vast majority say decriminalize marijuana, the parliament has no choice but to decriminalize marijuana. If the vast majority say hang criminals, hang murderers, empty that row. The people have spoken. So that's our position. We're not going to lie to you. When these parties come into office and 5 years pass and they come out of office and they tell you how much box drain they build and how much building they build and what kind of deals they make. But when you check and see the things that they were supposed to do to make life in the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of do what the hell you like land better, you realize they've done nothing. Kamla Prasad Bisesa sent Prakash Ramada out on a frolic. They needed the COP distracted. What's the best way? Tell Prakash he is in charge of constitutional reform and send him on a 4-year frolic. So Prakash, distracted by constitutional reform, came back after 4 years and published a book that nobody was taking on. And he didn't realize yet that the whole thing was just to send him on his way. Anyway, all of that was a lead-in, believe it or not. None of that is the subject of the point. But I need us to be clear. We're dealing with volunteers. The Jericho project, of which I was the founder, is about 23 years old now. Volunteers. All the time over those 23 years, people have come, people have gone. I had very frontline roles for a while. Now, I could barely do much for that organization because all of my attention is in this organization. But the point that I'm trying to make is, this is an all-volunteer organization. And when you come, we love you. And when you go, we understand. We understand. And we embrace your entrance with love. And we let you go with love. That's the PEP way. So don't think that everything has to be couture and bacchanal. It doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to call people ni makaram. Trinidad learned the term ni makaram when Pandey and Ramnath fall out. When Pandey called the 4, Sadiq Bash, Ralph Maraj, Trevor Sudama, Ramesh Lawrence Maraj, the 4 something, before they became the 3 Musketeers, because Sadiq realized, wait, I will stay with Pandey. So the other 3 who jump up and jump out and pull down the first UNC government. But as for those who studied history, Patrick Manning called Keith Rowley a thief. He called him a raging bull. He said he was a man completely out of control. Keith Rowley said Colm Imbert. He called Colm Imbert some questionable names. Colm Imbert said Keith Rowley was a thief. Keith Rowley's prime handler, financier, investor, Amy DeLaes, said that Colm Imbert should be sent to the police, that the police should be investigating Colm. These people, when they fight stink and dirty, nasty. We don't have to be so. We don't have to be so. Arthur Napoleon Raymond Robinson, that founded the DAC, that became Prime Minister under NAR and then President under the UNC, was a member of the PNM who fell out with Eric Williams. Carl Hudson Phillips, who eventually founded the Organization for National Reconstruction that became the National Alliance for Reconstruction, was a member of the PNM who had fallen out with Eric Williams. Understand your history. Kamla ended up in the UNC via the NAR, which was the ONR. So it is safe to say that Kamla's steps to the UNC was through the PNM. And you have to understand that these people don't get into politics for the same high-sounding ideals that we espouse. They get into politics for their own purposes. But we didn't want to stick a pin. We could call that disgust. We could go forward from there. We've been told, let's see if it's a video. We've been told Prime Minister Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley has invited opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the team to meet with him and a team on Friday. A statement issued by the Office of the Prime Minister and signed by Minister Stuart Young confirms that the invitation was sent via email on Tuesday morning. I want you to remember that line. Invitation was sent via email. Coming back to that, you know. I have sent you an email this morning inviting you and a small opposition team to meet with the Honorable Prime Minister and a small government team on Friday, January 5th, 2018 at 10 a.m. at the Diplomatic Center, St. Anne's, the letter said. It adds, I also called you to extend the invitation and to ask that should you have any names you would like us to consider, that you provide the names as soon as possible in advance of Friday's meeting so that we may consider same, the letter said. The opposition leader has not yet publicly confirmed her attendance at the meeting. But I want to skip ahead to the back of the book. This is a small story that is about to take place. And she, of course, needs to stunt a little bit, but then she has to accept and she has to go. Because this is about two political organizations that nobody wants anymore, performing for a media that nobody watches anymore, to elect a president that the country does not need. In other words, it's a circus. It's a stunt. It's make us relevant, make us important. But the problem is, before social media, thought control was managed through Sabga News Network and Massy Media. But that's dead. It's totally and completely dead. When Tony Sabga could take control of Guardian Media and hand it to a little boy straight out of school and say, see what you could do to save that. No, because Sabga's a businessman. You understand? It's dead. Nothing left here. Nothing left here. Stuart Young and the PNM organized an entire production. It must have cost a couple $100,000. Overhead cameras, long-range cameras, a whole team of people, signage, multiples of shots, a full production, edited down to give you a 3-minute video that last time I checked was just under 9,000 views. 9,000 views, and it was released to the nation on December 31st. I answered that video today. And within 4 hours, we crossed 10,000 views. Stuart Young, who you think is the real Minister of Communication, brother? You? You think you reach the people more than me? You're all in for a rude surprise come election time, you know, all this stunting you're all doing. Because I know, and I know Keith Rowley watches this show. And I want you to hear me, Keith Rowley. When you tell Kamla, call Philip off, understand this. Kamla has no authority over Philip. I know that the UNC hierarchy likes to sit back because the PEP is doing all the heavy lifting. We are pulling the government low. We have exposed all of your inconsistencies, all of your inefficiencies, all of your lies. We have laid waste to your propaganda and exposed the dark heart of this PNM government. The opposition could just show up. They don't have work to do, and they're enjoying that. But they're enjoying it to their peril because they've become irrelevant to the national conversation. Nobody wants to hear Khadija Amin and Udal Mudilan anymore. Vasant Bharat realized that he couldn't put out a post on Facebook and get more than 5 people. Stephen Cadiz used to be pushing Vasant Bharat, and between the two of them, they couldn't get 10. The people are not stupid. They were never stupid. They were starved for choice. The people were starved for choice. And now the people have a real choice. There is an African proverb that is credited to my ancestor Alexander the Great that says, an army of sheep led by a lion will defeat an army of lions led by sheep every time. I want you to see us coming. Bob Marley sang in one drop, frighten them. I want you to see us coming. I want you and the people that manipulate you to hear us coming. When people's minds open, when their eyes open, when they get woke, when they awake to the reality of the bullshit of the country and the failures of government since the Union Jack gave way to the red, white, and the black, and they realize what neo-colonialism was and what has been done to the people of this country, they get angry. When it dawns on people, you see it in their eyes. They get angry. Some of them tears fill up their eyes. I have had people hug me that I don't know, will never know. Just walk up to me and hug me and say, don't stop. Don't ever stop. I will never forget the old lady in the mall. The old lady in the mall that walked up to me. She told me, you don't ever stop what you're doing. That was months ago. People who lost all hope. There were people in Trinidad and Tobago who were just turning their wheels, working, saving, applying. We applied to the US. We applied to Canada. We have one eye on England. We might even go and check somewhere in Europe. So they was working, saving, making a nest egg to get out, to take their loved ones and go. Trinidad became a country since before Manning days where people used to flee. We've never had a proper management of the country. People don't believe that the courts, the police, the public service is there to serve them. They believe that they are being victimized at every step of the way. A lot of Trinidadians bite their lip and take injustice rather than go and try to find some redress, only to face more injustice. Women in this country are pulled over by police officers with flashing lights to ask them for their number. That is sexual harassment and misbehavior in public office. The state is supposed to have machinery that every time you turn on your siren, every time you accelerate that state security vehicle, it notifies somebody in authority. And you should answer for that the same way you should answer every time you unclip your gun. But we don't have that in this country. What we have is stunts and old talk. So Kamala going to, well, I'm not sure going Friday. Rudal will jump up and say, this is outrageous. There is no agenda. Nobody spoke. Rodney Charles will write a whole treatise and Kapil Bisoon will forward it to the blogs that will say, the PNM is taking the opposition for granted. We have some say according to the Constitution, chapter, subsection, verse. And the news media will carry that bullshit. Stuart Young will then be able to say, remember when you was in power and tra-la-la, la-di-da, yada, yada, yada. The media will carry that. Sell papers for 2 days, or so they want you to believe. But it's not working. And it's not going to work. You could break in that room and take pictures of Rowley having his way with Kamala on the desk. And it will not sell papers. The country is no longer interested in anything those two jackasses have to say. Kamala cannot defend her 5 years. There is nothing she has to offer you that you want. There are a lot of people who afraid because, well, tanty, granny, papi, rice between the toes, all kind of bullshit, that have to vote UNC, but they are in the minority now. And they will come across, maybe by our second term, maybe by 1 year into office when they see what real governance, you mean people really supposed to serve you so? You mean we were entitled to education that delivers and healthcare that works? We were entitled to universal home ownership in this country and a jobs program that leaves no citizen behind. We were entitled to this 55 years now. When it dawns on them what real governance is, what the power of the parliament, the cabinet, and the government is, they will pile on. That is why we call our entire mission for this year, Level Up 2018. Our job is to evangelize this party now. Our job is to take the mission to everybody. This is not a bullshit stunt organization built on Bacchanal. I don't care what Kamala drink. I don't care what Kamala smoke. I don't care what Kamala put in. She knows. That is not my concern. I really don't care about which little girl Rowley pulling at these days. I don't care about those things. I really didn't care about Stuart Young and Asha Javid. I care if Stuart pulls up outside Asha house and see Kwamina or Phelps' car. Because them is bigger PNM puppies than him. And Asha could get better from them than she could get from him. And they was there first. I think she have a child each for each of them. But that's a topic for another conversation. I really don't care about that thing. I really don't care about that. When you hear me talk about these little journalist girls and these little PNM ministers, this boy Mitchell, this boy Mitchell as Minister of Housing, will go down in history famous for his stoops. He's done nothing else. So now he's a wet spot, a vomit stain. He has something in the after the party when the cleaners come to clean up, they stoops at. You had to make such a mess before you leave. The truth of the matter is, government in this country has not been about service forever. When Eric Williams realized how easy it was to fool black people and how easy it was to use black people to keep Indian people at bay, Eric and his partners went, bing. Yeah. The Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of do what the hell you like, lad. What are we supposed to do? What are we as a people supposed to do? This is what we're supposed to do. Pay respect to your vote, your labor, and your consumption. By those three things, you say what you are for and what you are against, what you will accept, what you will tolerate. Slave wages are paid because Trinidadians accept slave wages. Because if Trinidadians refuse to accept slave wages, you see, a nation that has self-respect, all of these people will say, you know what? I'll sacrifice. I'll stand down. You go and flip the burgers. You go and make the sandwiches. You go and fry the fries. You go and change the oil in the car. You go and rotate the tires. You go. I'll stand down. The day the people of this country, I stood up in Massey stores today in Westmoreland, and I almost took a picture of what they have posted as a poster for the employees to read. Are you just a on-the-job employee who complains about what is wrong at work? Or are you a team player? Now that is some high-sounding bullshit. Some high-sounding bullshit. Because you made complaining about what is wrong with the job sound like a bad thing. But that is a human being's right. If you make a deal with any of your employees and then what you promise them at the hiring stage, you go back on your word or you do them something differently, they have a right to complain. They have a right to say, hey, I am exchanging labor for money. I didn't sell myself into slavery. I am exchanging labor for money. We have an agreement. You said that between these hours and under these conditions, I will do these duties and in exchange, I will get this. But that's changed. You've pushed me into longer hours. You do not pay me extra time and you demand it from me. You've given me duties outside of what we spoke about, and that was not part of the arrangement, and you're not trying to pay me more for that. You're bullshitting me with putting up my face and a star on a picture and saying I'm the employee of the month, but I'm getting a bag of rice for that. You give me 2 lateral promotions in the last 3 years and not a single raise in pay, like my children could eat title. And I want you to understand, I am an out-and-out capitalist. And I think that everybody should be able to achieve their fullest, highest potential. But I also believe that capitalism without compassion is a prescription for confusion. We need to find a middle ground that leaves none of our people behind. And that is where government comes in. When people ask me, why is that the job of the government? Why is that? Understand, everything is the job of the government. The well-being of the citizenry is the responsibility of the government. That is the sole purpose of government. Without those necessities being needed to be done, we don't need government. We don't need it. A lot of people think government is like winning a lotto. You win. Enjoy yourself. That's not what it is. It's not a lotto. It's not a Miss Universe or a Mr. Universe competition where you vote for somebody that you think as pretty as you, or that they look like you, or that you like them, or that you like them more than you like the other one. It's not about that. Government, you know what? It's like driving your car into a mechanic yard and you're hearing a noise. And they charge you at the end of the thing, and you're still hearing the noise, but they give you a donut. They say, well, donuts is really what we do here. Take a donut and smile. But you can't still make any noise. Government's job is to serve you to your satisfaction. Every time there is traffic, government fails. Every murder, government fails. Poverty and rising crime, government fails. The nation floods, government fails. We've bought into the bullshit. These media houses have been used to rape you and tell you, you see that program, look, rain falling, blame Kamala. That's not it. Kamala had nothing to do with the rain. But the management of the water resource, she was the prime minister. And she had a responsibility to that. And if she couldn't handle it, she had no right in the job. But the people were left without choice. They were left without champion. They had nobody to stand up and say, hey, slow your roll. You have a job to do. Treat with those people better than that. So right now, tonight, there are people in Central and South living in flood water. Because they don't understand that the prime minister's job is to come down there and clear that up. And he does that through every department of state connected with water management and emergency response. But we don't have to do that in this country as government because we've dumbed our people down. We've used the education system to sell bullshit to children, and Eric Williams, the father of the nation. And who understands what the hell that means? Who understands what the hell being father of the nation means? There was a nation before. Trinidad and Tobago was existing before Eric Williams was born. So how does he come to be the father of the nation? To what does he owe that credit? And I need to get our people asking questions like this. I need to get our people awoke, empowered, educated, informed. So when these mocking pretenders come stunting near you, could say, slow down. Because the Minister of Housing needs to answer to the nation, what is this government's Housing for All policy? The Progressive Empowerment Party is launching this Saturday. Housing for All. We are ready for government. And we are telling people, come and register now. Come and register now. We want your names. So as soon as we can, as soon as we are in government, as soon as we have the means, we are going to pre-qualify you for home ownership. We want to get as many people into their own homes as possible. And this Saturday, the 6th of January at 12 noon, Housing for All registration program starts. So if you want to be listed, come to 19 Stanmore Avenue this Saturday at noon and tell your friends and tell your family who are in desperate need of housing, come and register, come and put your name down. There is no cost whatsoever to it. There will never be a cost to any service that the Progressive Empowerment Party offers. This Saturday, on the heels of our Job Seekers program, which is doing yeoman service to a lot of people who were unemployed or underemployed, free to you and free to the businesses who are looking for employees. Because as they message me, they say, hey, who handle their job seekers? I need some employees. And the team handles that. Our job is to match jobs with people who need jobs. This Saturday, again, 6th of January at noon, there is a team there registering people, pre-interviewing people for job positions at zero cost to you. So come early. If you want to register for housing, come early. Because I suspect that we've been closed for 2 weeks. And I suspect that the crowd will be large. We're doing normal party registration as well this Saturday. And we, the team, will be there to meet with the public and answer any questions, bring you on board. We're having meetings with different arms and different organizations that want to come on board and bring their strengths. People are piling on. You will see and interact with people you don't believe is part of this movement. We're getting this thing right. We're getting it right from the bottom up. We say all the time, a rising tide lifts all boats. Let me explain to you what that means. If we make sure that everybody is lifted to a minimum standard, if we say that a minimum wage earner, if we say that everybody is entitled to a job, not a hustle, not a 10 days, not a handout, Everybody's entitled to a job. So the government will make sure that everybody is employed. We will have a massive, this jobs program that we're doing as the PEP politically will be expanded exponentially when we get into government to make sure that not one single citizen is left behind. Once you want a job, you are supposed to be able to access a job. And we will make sure that that is done, that there will be jobs in energy sector, there will be jobs in science, there will be jobs in agriculture and food production, there will be jobs in shipping turnaround, there will be jobs in cruise ship tourism, there will be jobs in foreign direct investment. We will be creating economic duty-free zones and inviting companies here to set up businesses, labor-intensive businesses, giving them incentives and bringing them. We will make sure that all of our people are gainfully employed. To us, once we know that all of our people have jobs, and that once you have a job, because there is a minimum wage, and we will make sure that that minimum wage is a living wage, because we will bring the money up and we will bring the cost of living down. And how will we do that? We will make sure housing for all is a real thing. The PEP promises zero deposit, zero interest for up to 30 years, up to $1.5 billion. That means a house for $100,000 will cost you $500, $477.77 a month. We promise that. We promise through our food for all food policy, we promise to put our farmers to work and put all our farmland under food. We promise to get Trinidad food self-sufficient in quick time and to become a net food exporter in faster time. It is our goal to make sure that the cost of living in this country comes down by at least 50%. So now you could afford a home and to feed your family. And when anybody falls sick, God forbid there is an emergency, we have 41 accident and emergency rooms set up throughout the country, 24/7 with minor surgery suites. We have some surprises in the medical fraternity, people who want to get involved. There are so many exciting developments in medicine right now that when you come in there, you wouldn't believe that is the treatment that the public service could give. But we had to stick a pin because they will definitely steal that idea. We want to make sure when you send your children to school, they go into prestige schools, that every single school in this country will be able to give children the same high standard of education, access to first world knowledge, that they come out of there knowing not only what to think, but how. We want to make sure that you can secure, house, provide, feed, and take care of your family. That is the whole idea behind a rising tide raising all boats. Because once the entire underclass of Trinidad is put on a solid footing, crime will collapse. Nobody chooses crime. Crime is a last resort. The only people that choose crime is the greedy sons of bitches up on top. But we'll deal with them because we want the money back. And I promise you, we're going for that money. We are going for that money. That will be my legacy. We're going for that money. And we're going to bring it back. Don't make us chase you. But that's another conversation for another day. That's another conversation for another day. We want to make sure that once that entire underclass is raised, it will naturally buoy and raise the middle class. The middle class is built on goods and services to the masses. Because the middle class is the working class, and it is where everybody has high dreams. Everybody has high dreams. A man left Trinidad driving a taxi and ended up in Canada and developed a 1-ton folding machine, and he's a millionaire today. Everybody has high dreams. And you're supposed to be able to want to aspire to the house on the hill and the Rolls Royce. And why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? You should have all the opportunity to maximize your full potential. Why shouldn't you? We are the party that spoke about free broadband Wi-Fi, the length and breadth of the country. Make the internet free. Make the internet free. Information must be free. You have a government right now that's trying to put a padlock on information, and the PEP is telling you we want to make information free. Free. We want to broaden your access to information, not limit it. Yes, they will have some people that will misuse it. People could misuse a coconut. There are stupid people and there will always be stupid people. We hope that using proper communication and education that informs and empowers, people will make better choices. We have to hope that that succeeds. We have a lot of underdeveloped people to right size right now. But we trust and we hope that with the right amount of honey and vinegar, people will get the message early that this is a government that cares about the people and not tolerating bullshit at all. So if you want to develop yourself, you can work with the government. If you want to cross the line, you're going to end up in trouble. Yeah? That's what we want to be. And again, Friday at 10 a.m., those two stunt artists, they're not going to discuss housing for all. They're not going to discuss bringing the price of food down. Because bringing the price of food down means taking food out of their financiers' mouths. I don't want to use the word bribing. Who financing them to not grow food. Clarence Rambarat worked at Carney Limited. Clarence Rambarat is not a fool. Clarence Rambarat know why he shut down Carney Green. So that somebody could import what Carney Green was growing. And we want to put an end to all of that. Standing on the riverbank, cursing the river. You want a surprise? This gentleman who is singing this song, he will be at the PEP rally on the 20th of January in Lanch Park, Chaguanas. Make sure you're there. Sing it live on the 20th. Rina Arjun just asked what time is the rally. The rally is on Saturday, 20th of January, starting at 3 p.m. And the rally and the meeting and the entertainment part will run till about 6, 7. And after that is the after party. We're going to have a time. I was in the gas station the other night. A guy was in the car with his mother and they both waving. So I checked to see if there's somebody. I know the mother said you do a real good job. The son said, I come in Saturday and I recognize you. I'm looking for a job. Today I drive into the parliament and I couldn't find a spot to turn into the car park. The gate is locked. The gentleman looked and he said, Mr. Alexander, welcome. People know us. And enslave your soul, promising you roads. They've made billionaires out of road pavers. They've made billionaires private jet stunters out of road pavers, yet the Yankees built the North Coast and the Wallerfield roads, and they're standing firm since 1943. But we can't build a single road that could last a year. East, west, north, and south. If their policy is a fallacy, a catastrophe, if they cannot cope, and you see it so, then your only hope is for them to go. Vote them out. Fire them. Use out, tell out, sell out, digs out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Them and their system. When he said them and the system, what he means is the country is set up where there is a hierarchy, a high class and a low class, and everybody scrambling in between. It was never meant to be so. It should not be allowed to continue being so. And we will tear that power structure down. I want to be the Prime Minister that tears that power structure down. peptrenbego@gmail.com, peptt.com, pep app, 3 communication tools. Message me if you need more help. This Saturday at noon, the Progressive Empowerment Party once again throws open its offices for the Saturday gathering public meeting. All are invited. You do not have to be a member. Chances are you will leave a member if you come and you hear and you see and you interact and you exchange. A real political organization built on serving the people with plans, programs, policies and ideas that are designed to undo and redo the clusterfuck that is Trinidad and Tobago, that will redevelop, reboot the republic and put all public servants and all public office holders back on a service footing. Yeah? You need to understand that you are entitled to that. This is not a promise we make to you because I think you're cute or I'm nice. This is what the Constitution says you are entitled to. But you've never said that this is what I'm entitled to. People treat you how you allow them to. And I'm telling you from now, start now. Tell this government, miss us with your bullshit. We know you're there to serve. Serve us. Pave my road. Fix my sidewalk. You see this flooding bullshit? It must end. I want it to come to an end. Where are the jobs policies and the housing policies? How the hell is the price of food so high? When the people went and marched on Colminbird House and the police came, 1 million Trinidadians after was supposed to come in support of them. Not the police, the people who were marching. Colminbird is the Minister of Finance. And if you can't answer for the state of the economy, brother, fire your blasted self. We are at the point in the country where the acting commissioner of police and the Minister of National Security missing in action. Nobody's accounting to the nation. The river of blood flowing through this land. We making jokes and we making memes, but people crying real tears. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to understand our role and our responsibility in this democracy and stand for it. Yellow, black or white, food, shelter and clothes, free movement and speech, a garden that grows, and one law for each. If it is that injustice is what they call racial injustice, mind-numbing injustice, avarice and greed drives their corrupt, illegal self-enrichment, them and their friends and financiers. If their politics is just a puppy show, a bunch of lies, when election day comes, all bandit must go. Get yourself ready. Get on the orange train. This is the rescue. This is the opportunity. Trinidad and Tobago's future and past relying on you. Your loved ones, the elders, and your future self wants you to put this country together again. Vote them out of power. Terminate their reign. A time will come when the people of Trinidad and Tobago will be able to say with the psalmist, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, free at last. It is time to fire them. We, the Progressive Empowerment Party, provides you the platform, the opportunity for hope to bloom in this country again. Let us stand together, one people under one flag. Show them no mercy, them and their system. Vote them into oblivion. No more red and ready, yellow and steady bullshit, nonsense, distraction, foolishness. Reject it out of hand. Demand what you are entitled to. Tell them red crap or yellow crap or same handful of salt. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we say so. See you Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Jobs, housing, membership. Come and get on board. Come and help us build it. Come and be a part of this, the vast movement of change sweeping across the land like an orange tsunami. Trinidad and Tobago will never be the same again. Change is already here and we are doing this. Until I see you again, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.